So, this is a video I didn't want to be making. As you can see, my car's there. There's bits of RS3 / Golf R lying about. It's happened. I'm like that guy off on Instagram. It's time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
Yeah, so we've had an incident. I say an incident. Cut a long story short, we put the intake on the car. We've done the intercooler. We went back for tuning at MRC a couple of months ago, and we had a problem where at 5k RPM it started misfiring, and it had a knock fault. It kept picking knock up. We didn't know what it were. It were running lean as well. We ran out of injectors, so we brought the car back. I ordered the ID 1700s. That's what we needed now, just to turn the DIs down a bit, because the DIs are nearly maxed out, and will make the injector stick open, and that's when the engines usually fail, by running the DI so hard. So we've put bigger port injectors in just to slack the DIs off. So the port injectors are 1700cc and the DIs will be slacked back a bit so they're not pushed as hard. So I've drove it back. Obviously I've not booted the car or anything. Once Duggan and Mini at MRC said there's something wrong, babied it back, left it in garage, ordered the IDs from ID. Well, I've ordered from IROS, so big up IROS for sending me the ID 1700s down. I've then gone on holiday, come back, and then I won the RS3. So that car's been sat for like 3 months, doing nothing. So I booked in on the 12th of November to get the injectors coded in and tuned. So we're just down at where dreams are made and hearts are broken. If you look around, you'll see on the wall. Where are we, Lewis?
We're at MRC tuning.
We're a big America.
America, is that what it's called now? America.
I'm just swapping my injectors out quick before we do a bit of dyno session. We've had a lovely Starbucks.
Lovely.
And we've had a lovely McDonald's. And a Monster.
Fuel for the day. We are ready to go.
Breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champions.
People, what I'm doing. Right then. Sorry. I have to pull up planning off. There's not enough room. Okay, let me show you. There you go. Oh. Slack got monster spots, yeah, still waiting. But yeah, injectors are in. Type if you want to come closer, I've looked come closer. These are wiring loom adapters. They're a bit, not loose, but they're a bit fragile. So I've put the tire up, because obviously they've got like little piggybacks for the injector to the rail. I've put the tire up on to push the clip down so they're always tight. And then, yeah, re-ran that hose. Ignition's on now, pumps are working. No obvious leaks. Time for Mini and Doug to do the magic. Let's go. Doug does the staging for the injectors, the scaling, sorry, does the scaling for the injectors. And we do one run on the dyno with 99 in and booster. Runs absolutely mint, doesn't run lean, running sound. Does like 850 horsepower on 99 with a booster in. Absolute crazy numbers, like 1,000 newton meters of torque. And then we've put ethanol in. Done one run, which is the video you'll see on Instagram. And that's when it's picked loads of knock up and it's misfired. At the same 5k again. But it weren't misfiring to here. You couldn't hear it misfiring. It ran fine. On that video, I'll post the video up. It sounds fucking insane. Doug were like, the computer's picking knock up and a misfire on cylinder 2, it's picking it up. So we pulled it off, well, we stopped dyno, pulled plugs, pulled packs, done a compression check, and it's lost compression in cylinder 2, but to run the car, absolutely fine, no misfires at all, runs sound. So, didn't know what to do. Texted IDs out, just in case the IDs were at fault, had them floor tested at MRC, fine. Couldn't find a fault apart from no compression in cylinder 2. Put a bore scope down, looks fine. Thought, right, we need to get it recovered. So we got the car recovered back to my garage. Big up Danny for sorting recovery out, what a legend. Phoned him literally last minute, drove for like 3 hours to MRC, come pick me up. Needed him recoveries local in Sheffield. I'll post him up, what a guy. Yeah, so didn't know what was wrong with it. Puts my boroscope down, I've got one that flips back, and we look underneath, and there is a bit of valve missing.
Move it about a bit, James. I can get it right up actually. Yeah, it's just chipped a bit of thingy off that. That's just
in cylinder 2. Before this, prior to this, sorry, we did a leak off test, and it's got no vacuum or pressure in that cylinder at all. Like we wound it to TDC, so all the valves should be shut, and it wouldn't hold any pressure. But every other cylinder absolutely sound. So we put boroscope down. I'll post the picture of what we see. A little tiny piece of valve missing. We're not sure how it happened because the car was running absolutely sound. All the boost logs and everything were all low boost. It was like 2 bar of boost. We've been running 2.2 on 99, so we ran 2 bars to start off with. That's when this has happened. So we've had an EGT gauge on it as well. People are going to be like, oh, EGTs are too hot, that's what valve chipped. You'll see on the picture, it's not melted, a valve. It's like chipped away, I'm not sure. I think it's just part failure. But let's be honest, I run this car every day, and I've run it for 3 years, forged. Not had one problem apart from when I melted the cam sensor for the pickup. So yeah, it's eating a bit of valve. I don't know how bad it is, I don't know how bad the engine is. So this isn't the video I wanted to make, but we're going to pull the engine out of the RS3, we're going to strip it, we're going to find what's wrong with it, we're going to fix it, we're going to get back to MRC, we're going to tune it, and then we're going to send it. So yeah, this is just part and parcel, unfortunately. I say that, people are like, oh, once you forge your car, it's built forever. It's not. Yeah, things do happen, and unfortunately, it has happened to me. Yeah, we'll get through it. Here's a video of me pull the engine out, and we'll go from there. So that's me calling it a night for now. It's 10:30 at night. Been grafting since 5 this morning. I'll show you what I've done up to now. So we've got the engine fully back in. All the wiring looms in. The coolant hoses are on. I've made this little bracket for my ethanol sensor to go off. I need to make something for this. I think I'm going to change that pipe for a different one. All these are setting. It's a little bit squishy at a minute. But that they're setting overnight. The catch can's fully on. The turbo kit is fully on. The wastegate, the screamer, and the exhaust are fully on. I'm just literally waiting now for some bolts to come. Sorry, some nuts for the V-band clamps to make sure they're tight. I need to put the intake on. All the fuse boxes back in. The wiring loom that I did, that's back in. Yeah, I need to put the coolant bottle in, but I've got James from Perrin coming up to have a look at his fuel line, and I need to make an adjustment to the oil cooler down there. But that's tomorrow, and I'll explain tomorrow what went wrong with the engine and what we've done to fix it. Welcome back. It's now 2 or 3 days, 3 days later from the last video. As you noticed, engine's back in. I didn't want to bore you too much with watching a time lapse of me putting an engine back together and taking bits off again and putting it back on and taking it off and putting it back on. Because these engines, you need to put things in the right order back together, because if you don't, you'll take it all back off again, put certain bits back on. And what we've found, you'll see me remove the engine, and I did mention that we've possibly got a problem with the inside of the head. I put a video of the valve up with the little crack in it. We removed the head, and we found quite a big piece of valve missing. It's little on the inside and it's burnt through on the other side. So it's rather part failure or one of the DI injectors has stuck open, which is weird because the brand new injectors were fitted September, so they're like 3 months old, and it's caused it to die. Things happen. It's a race engine, let's be honest. You don't 1000 or so daily cars and not expect anything bad to happen. So on to good things. Took the head off, messaged a very good friend of mine, Sam, at Conrad Race Engines, and I just said, Sam, I've damaged the head. What do you think of this? I'll put a picture below of the other side of the head. There is a piece of valve missing and a piece of the head is damaged. Sent it to Sam. Sam's reply were, that's easy, no problem. Send me the head down, I'll fix it this week. I was like, you are the man. So I stripped the head, I gave it a quick clean, took the valves out, sent them down. Sorry, I took that valve out, I sent it down to Sam. Sam stripped the engine, machined the head, welded up the brake in the head that cracked away, remachined it back together, put me a new set of valve guides in, brand new set of valves. I'll not mention what spec valves we went for, but a new set of valves. And then while it was apart, I've had a head gasket made for it so when the engine was disassembled, you watched it on a time lapse, but when I stripped it, 2 of the middle head studs were loose, the rest were fine. And Sam thinks it's had head lift at some point, but none of the other studs were loose, just the 2 middle ones. Head went back on, new custom heads, studs, custom made, new head gasket, custom made. The new custom made head gasket's got firings built in, so we had to torque the head up over a sequence of days. So 2 days we took the head up by, and then I think it was 3 days we took the head up by, and then the engine went back in the car. We had to do a heat cycle with the engine, which we've just done now, and we've just done a check, and everything is absolutely fine. Sam lapped all the valves in, all the other stuff. While it was out, I thought I need to make sure if anything has a problem with the engine or around the engine again, I need to make sure it's very accessible for anything else to get fixed. While the engine was out, I have redone this line. This line used to have a fuel filter here. It's now under the back axle. I'll attach some pictures. It's now under the back axle. I've changed the AN fittings, and now we've got the olive fittings. And then it T-pieces into the fuel rail. My idea behind this is, because I've got a fuel filter under the car, and it used to go into a Y piece, and then it used to go under there, and it used to feed the rail at this side, I thought, has the top injectors been starved with fuel? So what I've done in this case is I've put the filter at the back. I've been able to get rid of all of this headache that was down here where the filter was, T-pieced it into the rail, and this has got a restrictor inside this end. So the fuel comes in and it fills the rail with the injectors before it feeds the Y piece for the fuel pump and for the ethanol sensor. So the injectors have always got protocol when it comes to fuel. It's the first thing that gets fuel is the injectors. That way it can't run lean again, or a problem can't occur again, I don't think. So I've redone all the lines. They're all AN, they're all olive fittings, should I say. Manifold's back on, spacer plate is back on, new set of plugs in it, new coil packs. I've done 2 oil changes in this vehicle. I did one when it first started up, and then I did one like 10 miles after. I just drove it and come back, changed oil. And then we've just gone for a longer drive now, come back, I'm gonna change oil again now, and it should be fine. While the engine was out, I'll attach more pictures, because Thermo, mate, I've sorted me out with the best looking thermal heat management possible. I'll put some pictures down below. Look at how sexy this is. They've done my turbo, my manifold, my downpipe, my screamer pipe, my wastegate, the middle bit underneath the downpipe, everything is thermometed. Because when I took this engine out, I found a piece of wiring burn again at the back of the engine bay, and it's got heat shield and stuff down there already, but not the thermomet. My old manifold had the thermomet, so I sent it all to them. They sorted it out, and they've just put all the full space grade thermometing on this one. So now this thermomet that's on it, it's like a heat shield. It could be 900 degrees on one side and around between 70 and 100 degrees on the opposite side. So now the engine bay temps are like 0. There's no heat, nothing can get burned. I can't blow anything up or melt anything else. So big up Thermomet, they are the people to go to. I use them on my old turbo setup. If you want any heat management doing or any sort of firewall resistant stuff doing, they sell everything. It's rather welded on stuff, or they can make it so it's got clamps on it so you can take it on and off like little spring clamps. If you need anything, go check them out. We've used them for like 3 years and we've never had a problem with anything. It's just me rushing, putting this turbo kit on that I welded up. I didn't put any heat management on it, and that's why it's melted something. So big up Thermomet, one of our sponsors as well. Oh, everyone we use as sponsor, we don't use them because they've offered to sponsor us. We use them because their stuff is the best and it works, otherwise we wouldn't use them. So yeah, big up Thermomet for that. While the engine's back in, I finally got my UTA Performance full 6-inch carbon fibre air duct back in, and everything is now absolutely lovely and amazing. You'll notice as well, I've got rid of the big billet elbow and I've gone for the smaller JD wire one, so I come in a bigger BOV, and I've put some nice shielding on my meth line, so it looks very subtle and blends in well. So yeah, engine's back in, ready to go. Sorry for the long explanation, but I needed to tell you all the ins and outs of it. Tomorrow, we are down at MRC for a quick tune. I said quick, we're down for a tune, and we're down to send it as far as it goes. So this head now, my old engine, this engine on the old setup, we're rated to around 3 bar. This new one, the head studs don't stretch until 2,700 PSI. So I've got bags of room. Obviously, we're not going to push it to that. I'm going to push the car, or should I say I'm going to push the turbo and the engine until the turbo runs out of volume. So what that means is I will keep requesting boost in the turbo and timing until the turbo can't physically flow anymore. And that's when we've maxed that turbo fully out. At what boost level, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be around 3 bar. So tomorrow, we're going to send that. Praying all goes well, but we'll see. But you'll know already because you'll be watching the video now. Welcome back. So, final part of the video. We have just arrived back from MRC. That's where the car's whopping. There's a tin of race fuel in front of me, and there's a slip in my hand, which can only mean one thing. Dyno session went well. We had a little bit of a hiccup where we had to turn a bit of fuel pressure up, but me and James from Perrin fixed that issue, no problem. And the numbers are in. Absolutely rapid is what it is, my boy. So, we ended up with 3 maps, well 4 maps. The first one, 99 with a booster, just on its own. Next one, low boost ethanol. Next one, high boost ethanol. And then the 4th one, kill. Come closer, Jack.
Abdul, come closer!
Abdul, go back!
Jack, go back. So, 99, 827 PS, 871 Newton meters of torque, 99 with a booster, ethanol. 920 brake horsepower, 960 Newton meters, ethanol high boost, 1038 horsepower, 1121 brake horsepower. 1121 newton meters of torque. And then the kill map was 1088, it's not on here, but it did 1088 horsepower, 1144 newton meters.
Because it's running slightly more boost.
It's like running literally slightly more boost, but that map is not very recommended for daily driving. It's like flat, so all I'm really doing is gaining a lot of heat in the turbo, because it's not, the EGTs are getting hot really, basically it's just to swing your penis about and say I've got like an 1100 horsepower car.
Which Tom likes to do.
Correct. I'd like to say thank you to MRC for putting up with my stress that this car's caused, and it always causes a stress. At this power level, you can't really not have stress, but a lot of people on the internet don't show you the stress. Therefore, customers think you can just turn up and just get a 1000 horsepower car, or 1200 horsepower, or whatever. It's very hard. Anything past, I would say, 600-700 horsepower is a headache to do. And I mean a headache. It's a ton of money and a ton of stress. But MRC, I can't say thanks enough to Doug, Dave, Minia, Ari, Sarah, everyone at MRC. Like, I get there and they treat me like family, and they always have done. Like, I can just go down, borrow their workshop whenever, speak to Doug, and it will show me exactly what car's doing, what it could be doing, what we need to do, what we need to alter, what I need to change physically. And don't get me wrong, there's been many times I've gone down before, stuff's not been right, or he's not been happy with stuff. I just bring the car back, adjust it how they want it, go back. And every time I've gone back, the car's made power. Every time. So proof's in the pudding, people. 1000 horsepower, legit, no problem. So you've just seen the dyno clips. It was trying to break traction at like 120, 140 mile an hour. It was wheel spinning. It was flaming on ethanol, which is hard to do anyway. The flames are crazy. Doug and Minia have absolutely smashed this file off. The car had pulled so hard all the way through rev range, and it is literally a weapon. So go and give MRC a follow. If you need a stage 2 doing on your car, or a stage 3, or even a stage 1, we fit all the parts, MRC do the tuning, the car will be savage. Proof's in the pudding, MRC make numbers. I do the parts labour and I can get it done in 1 day. MRC will map it in a day. You've got a weapon built in 2 days, or even the same day if you get it early enough. What more could you want? The only normal thing for me to do after this now is to just create a madness and show everyone what I've built and what MRC have tuned. As about, I just drop this little clip here and I just blow your little minds, because you've been after this footage for ages. So watch this. So you've been nagging me for a long time now, 4 years, to go on an officially gas review.
Well, guess what?
The
We're
man.
back. We are back, and all I'm saying is this one is a madness. You're up, man.
Out the window, no problem.
What are we saying, D?
Well, we was doing a lot.
What are we saying, D?
Everything was flying.
Find
Hey,
a what?
fucked. New favourite whip.